Bobby Moore led England up to the Royal Box to receive the Jules Rimet Cup and the winners' medals. To be here as winners of the FA Cup has often been described as the summit of a footballer's ambition. How much greater was the triumph they enjoyed now.
Good morning everybody and welcome to Wembley Stadium today for the press conference with new England manager Gareth Southgate.
One thing that Southgate's done is that gelled all the players together.
I think Kane's top 10 player on the planet.
Do you remember non-HD?
Yeah.
If they say a penalty in the World Cup, he's also done that.
The prediction for top goal scorer as well.
I'd say Bobby Charlton.
It's just a few weeks of like unbearable anxiety, isn't it? Like, it's horrible.
What's your best England memory?
Half a lager, half a cider, and black currant.
Yeah, we were crying, weren't we?
That was pretty good.
For God's sake, don't wake him up because he's crying like 23 hours a day.
It's coming home, isn't it?
Hi guys, welcome back to the End of the Words podcast, episode 23, and today we're doing a preview for Euro 2021. Now, we've got a couple of guests to help us, two legends of the footballing punditry game. It's our dad Mark.
Hello.
And our uncle John.
Hi.
Welcome to the podcast, guys. Let's talk about England then from the start. Our memories of England. Sadly for me and Tommy, having been born in 94 and 96, our England memories tend to be just disappointment after disappointment, really. So if we go down the line then, Tom, we'll start with you. What's your best England memory?
Best, I'd say, when Trippier hit that free kick. And for a second it was coming home, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Big time.
2018 World Cup.
Yeah.
At least 1 second.
Yeah, social club just erupted, didn't it? Dart fruits dripping off the ceiling, and we were all there. And then just went sour, didn't it? That's my best memory. The most prominent one was the Lampard goal that never was against Germany.
Yeah.
I can remember that, and just leaving the social club again, fuming.
Yeah. So we were 2-1 down at that point, wasn't it? Just before half time.
Yeah.
Let's be honest, obviously they went on to win it that year. They were a much better team than we
easily,
were.
weren't they?
Yeah, and but there was a point where you're thinking, if you're going in at 2 each at half time, possibly you don't know what's going to happen in the second
We'd have
half.
won it, the whole thing.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, that lack of goal line technology robbed us of a World Cup there.
Yeah.
John, best England memory?
Well, 5-1 Germany, 2001 was it?
Yeah.
Scenes.
At Peggy's bar it was at the time. There was a pool table. We used to drink diesel.
What's that?
Which is half a lager, half a cider, and black currant.
Oh, nice.
And it was covered. The pool table was ruined. So 5 goals against the Germans, brilliant. But it's got to be in the Catchums, Beckham free kick against Greece.
Oh yeah. So was that a qualifier for the World Cup in 2002? Is that right? Were we not going to go to the World Cup and then he needed to score?
I think we was going to the qualifier. If we lost that, we're going to play in the qualifier.
I think Germany only drew at home to Finland on the same day. So if we'd have lost, we'd have still come second. So that's the reason we finished top. Germany went in the playoffs, didn't they?
So you literally need to score to get through.
I was in the mosh pit at the Catchums at the time. And I think it was Digger, his name was. He was holding my hand, was like so excited about it. So he's going to score here. And when he did, it was like elation.
That was like peak Becks as well, wasn't it? Was it a bit of a redemption story as well from what happened in the 98 World Cup as well, wasn't it?
Yes,
for Beckham?
yeah.
What hair did he have then? What generation Beckham was that?
Oh, yeah, skinhead.
Skinhead.
Skinhead, wasn't it?
Yeah, my hero growing up, Beckham. I used to have his clothing line from Marks and Spencer's. He had a children's clothing line. I had a coat, one of my first big coats I had. When I was at school, it said DB7 on it.
Nice.
Classic Becks. Dad's best England memory?
Well, I've got 66 World Cup.
No.
He was there.
What a 20th that was.
I've got 3, and the first 2 are quite they're similar, because the first ever World Cup first ever World Cup I watched was 78, but England didn't qualify.
Mm-hmm.
So the first World Cup I ever watched where England was in it was 82. But I can remember John would be about 4 months old and he was asleep. So my mum had said,
What, not crying?
No, you weren't crying. That's why my mum had said, for God's sake, don't wake him up because he's crying like 23 hours a day.
Yeah.
Don't wake him up if England score.
Yeah.
Brian Robson scored after 25 25, 27 seconds against France.
In the first
That
game?
first ever game I've ever seen in England
nice.
playing the World Cup. So I was like, yeah! And me and my dad are jumping around, so I can remember that. And then when Paul Gascoigne scored against Scotland in the Euro 96, having Scotland just missed a penalty literally 30 seconds before, I got Tommy in my arms. I think he was...
Must have been strong.
Yeah. he was just coming up to 2 and he went very well, so I was like looking after him. And I think the wife had gone out. So I was like, I couldn't wake him, I didn't want to wake him up, so I was like, when they scored, like, he was jumping down. Yeah. But I think the best memory, as in, you're with your mates, you're in a pub, you're absolutely steaming. It's Sturridge's last minute goal against Wales.
Oh, nice.
The Euros, because you're just kind of thinking, I can't believe we drew against Wales.
Yeah.
And then he went and scored.
Yeah.
You were a big fan of Sturridge as well, weren't you?
Yeah,
you were arguing for him to be in
a
the
lot of
squad.
people in the pub are like, God, he's so crap. And I just thought he was so skillful.
Yeah. I forgot about that one actually. I was.
I hadn't forgotten. I was really glad he mentioned it because I was going to bring it up if not. Like
Right,
how much
that's
of a
a
state Dad was in after that.
when you came back from the cashews.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I was actually I forgot about that one, but so that was the Euros, wasn't it? Euro 2016, and I was in Vietnam at the time. And I was watching that game.
The war.
Yeah, I was in Nam, and I was watching that game it was like a pub, but it was basically like a shack, and everybody in there was either English or Welsh, and all on holiday and stuff. And their electric was on like a meter, so someone had to go and put a coin in every 5 minutes.
Someone's next to the telly like that.
Yeah, honestly. And so the game was on. It was obviously like a big game, and then it would just cut out all the electrics in the entire place, all the lights, everything for about 30 seconds. Can you imagine us, John? You'd have been gone. Your head had been gone if you were in there. And
Tom's leaving the TripAdvisor.
yeah, and obviously when that last goal went in, everyone was going mad. To be fair to like the Welsh fans in there, they took it really well, and it was like a really great atmosphere.
Remember when Gerrard scored against America?
That cut out.
The old ITV or
Yeah.
BBC
Yeah,
kind
when-
of cut out, didn't it?
Yeah,
Like missed 30 seconds, and when you come back, we were all going celebrating.
You know what it was? This ages that, but you know why that was? It was only the HD version that cut out, and there was a big beef. It was the first time that football had been
Remember
shown
that?
in HD.
Remember not HD?
Yeah, no, but that's mad, isn't it? But so 2010, that was like HD first come in. There was an option to watch it in HD, but that started about a minute late. And everybody missed Gerrard's goal. Like 10 million people missed the goal.
That was a low point for England, wasn't it? That was the Robert Green
Yeah.
mistake. Rooney swearing at the camera at the end to the fans, and
in 2000.
That was the third.
Capello,
That was the third game. I think the 0-0 against Algeria or something. Rooney was like, "Now see your
was
own
it?
fans booing you," back down the camera, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, Andy did it in a Scouse accent rather than Indian.
rather than that one.
Yeah.
What about you then? What's your England memory?
I think when Dyer scored the winning penalty against Colombia, when me and you watching it,
Yeah,
in
we were
Milton
crying,
Keynes,
weren't we?
That was pretty good. I remember probably when I first started watching football was sort of the 2003 to 2006, that sort of era. So, you know, like your Henry, Ronaldinho, that sort of era. That's when I feel like I really got into it. So Euro 2004, where Rooney was like awesome and stuff. I remember that being the first time I ever really watched England or knew who they were and stuff. So that like young Rooney, ledge, wasn't he? I mean, sadly he's ruining his reputation at the Rams at the minute. But yeah, awesome money in those days. It was just sad when they got knocked out and stuff, wasn't it? But did we get knocked out twice to Portugal?
Yeah.
Both on
I
penalties?
think that's my biggest disappointment when
Rooney broke his foot, didn't he? That
I think when we drew 2 each and then lost on penalties, because you're talking Lampard, Gerrard, Beckham, Scholes, you know, Ferdinand, Terry. You can't win a tournament with that team.
That was the golden generation.
Just
wasn't
get
it?
through that kind of shootout, you're thinking you've got a chance.
Yeah. Did we play France in that tournament with Zidane?
Yeah.
Like peak Zidane?
We're 1-0 up with 2 minutes to go and lost 2-1.
Scored a penalty in the free kick, didn't he?
Yeah, Zidane did.
Yeah.
He was unreal, wasn't he? The thing is, like I say, we've had great players, haven't we? I think Lampard finished third in the Ballon d'Or in like 2005 or something. Like we've had legendary like players, all in the same squad, and it just never works
We
out.
had great players, but we didn't have a great manager.
Yeah, and obviously the whole thing about
A lot's
Gerrard
got to
and
align,
Lampard.
hasn't it, at the same time?
Oh,
Plus, I think
for it to happen.
I think that
Yeah, of course.
one thing that Southgate's done is like gelled all the players together.
Yeah.
Whereas then the Man U players were sitting together, the Liverpool players were sitting together, the Chelsea players.
Yeah.
They were so because they were like top in Europe as well, aren't they? They were like the best
Yeah.
teams in Europe. So they just didn't get on.
Yeah.
Do you think that's like a generational thing as well, though? Like, as in with social media and stuff now, I think they all just seem closer
I think
anyway.
the
They're all
young-
in like WhatsApp groups.
Yeah, the
with
young
each other
lads,
and
like
that, aren't they?
all the England lads under 25, you know, like your Grealishes and Chilwell and Matt and all those guys, they all know each other outside of a club environment. They're mates, aren't they? Whereas that, I don't know if that was the case in those days.
Yeah, seems like a great vibe though in the England squad.
Oh, yeah.
I really enjoy watching them again as well.
Yeah, I think after the 2018 World Cup, and like you say, it was for a while. It was coming home, wasn't it?
Mm-hmm.
And like even the fans are now on. Like I would say, obviously we'll go on to now talk about the Euros and stuff. But I think going into this Euros is probably the best everyone's felt about England and stuff, isn't it?
Well, like Ericsson literally read the papers, and whoever the Suns thought should be in the first 11,
Yeah.
that's who he picked.
Yeah.
And he'd got that first 11, and you could be scoring 30 goals a season, but you weren't going to get in. You
Yeah,
weren't going to get in in front of Esky and Hohen, were you?
Yeah, but that 11 was really good, wasn't they? Like, you had
Oh yeah.
squad was alright, but that 11,
Just the left side.
about 8 or 9 players are probably getting every team.
Yeah.
Left side, we was always struggling with.
What,
wasn't we?
midfield?
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, you had Joe Cole for a while, didn't you? But he was injury prone, wasn't he, at times?
We weren't really playing for Chelsea much.
Yeah,
was it,
that's the
really?
thing. But I think that was the issue, was you had Gerrard, Lampard and Scholes, who, like you say, all three of them would walk into any England team, or probably any era, wouldn't they? But sadly, didn't find a way of playing them together. And maybe now, say if we had that squad now, and all those players are peaking at the same time now, where it was more acceptable to play like a 4-3-3 or a 4-2-3-1, you could probably get all them in now quite easily, couldn't you? You could play Scholes as a 6 and 2 8s, and we'd probably smash everybody, wouldn't we? But in those days, it was very much a 4-4-2, wasn't it?
Plus, sticking up for Ericsson slightly, which you don't really like doing, we always seem to have one or two bad injuries. I think Neville missed a tournament, Ferdinand missed a tournament.
Yeah.
Rooney weren't fit for the first
Hargreaves.
game once.
Yeah,
Beckham
we must have,
broke
because
his
Crouch
foot.
played a lot, didn't he?
Yeah.
So like, they must not slagging off Crouch. I love Crouchy, but if everybody was fit all the time, he would never have played for
He
England,
would
would he?
play, but never let us down, did he?
No, he always.
Like Esky, really.
He's got a great record, Crouch, hasn't
Yeah,
he?
it's like got a goal every other game. That
Remember he scored against Trinidad and he pulled the,
He pulled the blokes,
centre half's dreadlocks. As
Yeah.
he did it.
Yeah. Should we do favourite football songs?
Yeah.
Every
There's only a few, isn't there?
yeah,
really?
every big tournament. I don't know if we'll have one this year. I'm assuming not.
It's coming home, isn't it? So that's it.
Yeah, everyone likes that one. I
No.
don't suppose. But yeah, so especially it was more of a thing back in the day, wasn't it? But were there like charity singles and stuff, or was it literally just because of the
I
football?
don't know who the money went to actually. Probably charity.
Yeah, something like
Or
that.
Man U, something like that.
Used it to found the Super League.
It's hard to look past We're on the Ball, Anton Deck, isn't it?
Yeah. What? So you know the lyrics of that song. Is that
Yeah.
describing one of the goals in the Germany
Germany,
game? I
yeah.
thought it was. Yeah. That was a sort of early noughties. Like, that was awesome.
Yeah.
What a time
We
to be
got
alive.
that. We're coming home.
We're coming.
It's coming home. What else?
Vindaloo,
Vindaloo, classic.
Vindaloo's classic.
Fat Les.
Yeah. Anything else? Any others?
It's coming home is the best. The video is the best because they've actually got all the German players have got cunts on the back of the shirt because they had a player called Cunts.
Oh, I did it. Oh, okay, that's good.
Stefan Cunts. He actually scored in the semi-final.
Oh, okay.
K-U-N.
K-U-N-T-Z.
How are you spelling that? So let's talk about some bad ones then. I think was it the James Corden and Dizzy Rascal shout
Yeah.
for the 2010 or was it
Awful.
the 2012 Euros possibly?
Yeah.
Let's do one more then. Favourite England goal. I'm going to go for a really niche one here. And I don't know if it's my favourite one, but I thought it was really good technically. Andy Carroll's header against Sweden in the Euros
Very good.
was technically a fantastic
Carroll.
goal. No, that was a brilliant goal, but it meant nothing because we were crap, weren't we, in that
Yeah.
era?
We did win that game.
Yeah, we did.
That's the one where Welbeck did a bit of a flip.
Yeah, he did a
wasn't
flick. There was 2 good goals in that game. Yeah.
Mhm.
Other goals we like.
Well, I've got the Beckham one for
Yeah, the free kick. Yeah.
Michael Owen, France 98.
Is that the one where is it against Argentina?
Yes.
Yeah.
Scholes was about to cut off his toe, wasn't he? And he it's a great goal.
Yeah. So
But
he was
when-
only a kid then, wasn't he? as
It
well?
was Messi-esque, wasn't it?
But we went out that same game, so it's not really memorable to people.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Let's imagine, really.
Yeah. Any
Dad,
others?
favourite goal?
Good goals.
Man, I'd say mine was Lineker against Poland. This is my first or second, where it was just like all one touch down the line and they put it across. And his was the easy bit, but I think it was Beardsley or whatever.
team-
it was
team
a
goal.
really good team goal, and it kicked off about midnight. Cause,
Oh, really?
Cause it was because it was in Mexico. You
Yeah.
had to be hardcore to be watching it.
Mm.
Then we'd lost to Portugal and drew with Morocco, so we had to beat Poland. And Lineker scored a hat-trick in about half an hour.
Oh,
Nice. I'm going to go for Joe Cole against Sweden.
Oh
Great
yeah.
goal.
Going with that one,
Yeah.
where he kind of
Good
brings it
memory.
down and bosh.
Left,
Yeah.
left midfielder that couldn't play there.
Yeah, yeah.
Right foot.
Then the same game, did his leg the same game get injured? He was out.
Possibly.
No,
yeah.
Owen got injured.
No, I think Cole not break his leg, but he was out. He got injured that game and he was out for the rest of.
Was he? It's
I think
a shame, wasn't it?
Owen did as
Was
well,
that when he
definitely.
twisted his knee?
Yeah, Owen
I
twisted his
remember
knee
that.
on the side.
Yeah, because his body moved right and his foot stayed facing the other way and his knee just like popped out. What about goals against us? I'm just thinking when you said Sweden, what about the Ibrahimovic over at kick from about 40 yards?
He was a
That
beast that
nice.
game,
Yeah,
wasn't
but
he?
we can all score them, can't we?
I don't know, can you?
Maradona 8 to 6.
Yeah,
probably
so
the
be that
greatest
one.
goal.
Not the handball, the other one.
Oh no, I love the handball.
I love the nonchalant Pirlo Panenka penalty that. Do you remember when they knocked us out
Against
on
Joe
penalties?
Hart, wasn't it?
Against Joe Hart, just literally sat him on his arse.
That's funny because when you was watching it in the pub, you didn't say that's nonchalant.
Yeah.
That was a good goal, wasn't
Oh, nonchalant.
it? Yeah. Okay, so we're going to look forward to Euro 2021 now, and what we're going to do is we're going to pick our combined England squad. So 26-man squad, which has gone up from 23, so let's make it slightly easier for us. So what we're going to do is we've agreed that we're going to have 3 goalkeepers, 9 defenders, 9 midfielders and 5 forwards. And how we're going to pick the first 8 players is we're going to go down the line twice and we're all going to put in 1 non-negotiable player. So regardless of what the others in the group think, this person's going, this person is on the plane to Wembley.
And the knees are really trembling.
So Tommy, pick your first non-negotiable player and tell us why. Tell us a little bit about him.
My first non-negotiable is Harry Kane.
It's got to be answered.
Yeah. Top bloke. Just top man, isn't he?
Yeah.
Top geezer.
Yeah.
And he's there.
Top goal scorer and top assists in the Premier League, even though he's been playing for Mourinho for the first majority of the season. Probably our only elite world class player, would you say, at the minute?
I don't know,
Elite world class player, as in I think Kane's.
I could play for anybody, anywhere.
I think Kane's top 10 player on the planet in any position. He'll get anyone's team. So elite world class.
Fair enough.
With the potentially maybe not Bayern Munich, but he'd probably play 2 up front, wouldn't he?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so Kane. Right, John, non-negotiable player. Who's on the plane?
Well, 3 months ago you might have argued this, but Mason Mount for me
Got to be any.
has been superb for 3, 4, 5 months, if not more.
Yeah.
I'd say his whole career.
Yeah. I'd say he's firmly in the starting 11, never mind the
Yeah,
playing.
we'll
When
get to
he
that.
was 17 years old. He went to play in Holland
Vitesse.
in the top league. Scored 14 goals, I think, from midfield.
Mm.
Went to Derby, playing in the Championship. It's not easy as a young lad, central midfield.
Mm.
You know what I mean? And I'd say because he got injured 2 months, 3 months.
That's why we went
us,
crap.
cost us promotion, isn't it? And
Thank God.
and at Chelsea, everybody's like, "Oh, he's Frank's son." Even the Chelsea fans, a lot of them didn't like him but he's just
He's one of our own, so we like him, but we thought he just.
Was it a bit teacher's petty to begin with?
Yeah, that's probably what.
But that's not his fault, is it? Once his fault.
Yeah. But
And
since Frank's left, and sometimes you watch a game, and it's very hard to remember him doing anything wrong at all.
Yeah,
he
he
didn't
does
give the
everything
ball away
very
or
well.
anything.
Tuchel's first game, he left him on the bench. He was this Mason Mount guy. Brought him on second half and
Yeah, he's not been out since, has he? So like I say, Lampard was a big fan of him. Tuchel's taken that on, and Southgate loves him, doesn't he? So, Dad,
So we're picking a player that we can't do without then.
we can't kick him out, whether we don't want him in there or not.
Well, unfortunately, I'm going to have to go for Harry Maguire,
Yeah,
who is the
slab.
most important defender we've got if we play 4 or 5 at the back.
Yeah,
But I think that's a sad
we're in trouble, aren't we?
sad indictment of England that he is our main defender, because he's definitely not worth £80 million.
yeah, but that's just the market, isn't it? I think he gets too much stick personally. I think objectively he's a good player. He is a good defender, and he is one of England's best defenders as a fact. Just because he went to Man U for £80 million, that's not his fault.
I think
Is
we
it?
can,
Do you know what I mean?
I think we can play a back 4 if he's fit.
Yeah.
If he's not fit, we can't play back 4.
No, I agree.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, I agree. We'll talk about our England 11 as well a little bit later on. So I'm going to go for my non-negotiable. Tommy knows who this is straight away.
I'm going to mention
absolute love of my life, Phil Foden.
Ronaldo.
No, it's Phil Foden. Just absolutely amazing player. I think he's probably, I'd say, the one player, as well as Stones, that's benefited from the Euros being kicked on a year, because he hadn't even been in a squad this time last year. But he is, in my opinion, this is a big shout, other than Kane, he's our best player already, in my opinion.
I think
And-
massive credit to Guardiola with Foden. The fact that he never sent him out on loan anywhere, and the amount of people that are saying he should play more.
Last
But
season, yeah.
last season or maybe the season before,
Mhm.
and he was just giving him the odd 5-10 minutes even. I get with Foden. I think he's a bit of a rascal.
Mm.
You know what I mean? In personality wise,
Yeah.
I think he wanted him to grow up
Yeah.
But that's what I love
mentally
about
and
him.
physically. Yeah.
You know, if you watch him and like, if he goes 2 or 3 chances without scoring, he looks proper pissed off,
Yeah,
doesn't he? Like
he
every
does,
time,
yeah,
looks
yeah.
really
To
annoying.
me, Mason Mount is a perfect young lad, great footballer, but Foden just got that. He's Gaza-esque.
Yeah.
Mm.
He plays like he's playing on the back garden with his mates.
Yeah.
That's
He's
how he
unbelievable.
plays.
Yeah, and like you say, maybe he is a bit of a rascal. You know, he does go out and get the Icelandic girls after the game and stuff, which I quite like that. And I would do the
He's
same.
already
Kerry
got-
Katona's
he's already got a
nice.
kid and that.
Hey?
He's
Yeah,
already-
he's got a kid and stuff. Yeah, but he's like still so young. I think he's only 20. But like I say, I think last year after the lockdown, he scored more Premier League goals than anybody else after the lockdown last season. He was the man of the match in the League Cup final, and he's just lodged Sterling out the starting lineup for Man City, and he's there probably outside of De Bruyne. He's probably the first name on Pep's sheet.
His
other than
first
Diaz,
touch
maybe.
is just.
Unbelievable.
He doesn't have. You know, when you watch Spain in the late 2010, 2012,
Yeah.
and they never ever looked at the ball. When they got the ball, they was already looking, and he never looks at the ball, does he?
Well, he's been training with David Silva, hasn't he, for
Yeah.
all that
Yeah,
time.
exactly.
And I'll say as well about Phil Foden, because I could talk about him for ages. But in the
We'll have to put a part 2 in just for Foden.
in the England youth setup,
We'll have cobwebs on, isn't it?
in the England youth setup, from the age of like under 11 upwards, there's like a ranking system basically. There's like a coefficient and it basically tells you who's the best player in the UK at their age group. And Foden was in the same age era as like Sancho and some of the other players we're talking about. And they had to make a different bracket for him that he was that far above everybody else at that level. And what it basically means is he's on track to be the best English footballer of all time, full stop. And I think he is.
Who is that, by the way? Just off the subject.
Well, who's the best ever? It depends what you mean, doesn't it? Achievement or ability?
Ability. Got the Gascoigne.
Or Rooney?
Yeah.
I think most people would say Gascoigne, wouldn't they? And then Rooney.
I'd say Rooney.
I'd say Bobby Charlton,
What, ability?
but yeah, absolute world class.
Yeah, but there's no offsides in that, was it then? You could pass it back and that.
I'd say John
That's a
Joe
different
Shelby, but that's a
game,
different story.
To play football at his level and have such shit air and not
Yeah.
be embarrassed about
Against
it.
the wind all the time.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I always think that players are always going to get technically better as time goes on. Things like even just down to sports science and the quality of the pitch and all these different things. So I would say there's some players now who aren't the best in our team that would play in those days. If you took them back in time and put them in those teams.
How old's Foden?
20.
That's scary, isn't it? That he's 20.
Yeah, let me say this. Maybe not in this year, because he might not start. He might start after this year, going into the World Cup and everything. From now on, as long as he doesn't get injured, the entire team will be built around him for the next 10 years. He's that good, basically.
And they're all quite young. They're all quite young.
Oh
really,
yeah,
so
that's
it's
a
cool.
good thing, isn't it?
The strange thing about Foden is because football now is massively about athleticism and size,
Strength and stuff. Yeah,
and he's so small, isn't he?
really,
I mean, how many players have been told they won't make professional footballers because they're too small? He really is too small. When you look at something like Haaland, who's like worth how many millions?
he's a freak, isn't he?
and he's massive.
Yeah.
Yeah, but Messi's.
Yeah,
If you're good
That's
enough,
what
you're
I'm
big
saying.
enough,
If you're
innit? It's
good
one of
enough,
them. Yeah.
That's why I don't think he sent him out on loan. Because I think he wanted him trained with David Silva to take his place.
Yeah. Well, he
Yeah.
actually said, Guardiola said in an interview last year, no, the year before, Foden's the best young player he's ever seen. And remember that he first trained Messi when Messi was 19. So he's on that level, basically.
See, David Silva was coming to the end last year, and he was probably one of the main reasons why Man City didn't win the league. Because
Yeah.
Silva's leg was just beginning to go. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And now Foden's
But-
replaced him and more, hasn't he?
Yeah. Now he's saved Man City millions of pounds
Oh, yeah.
by having to buy somebody to take Silva's place, hasn't he?
Definitely.
Okay, so that's the first
That's
four
the
in.
first four.
My
Tommy.
second non-negotiable. Might be a controversial one. If fit, Jack Grealish
Nice.
for me. Not obviously. We're going to talk about our 11 later. I'm not going to say that I think he should start every game, but I think he well deserves to be in the squad. In the games that he has played for England, I think he looks really impressive.
Against Belgium, he was unreal, wasn't
Good
he?
to have around the squad. Seems like a popular, nice lad, and he's got that kind of that Gaza feel where like everyone gets behind him and stuff.
If he doesn't come back before the end of the season, I'm not sure how fit he is or what, would you take the gamble and take him?
I would with these extra few
I
players.
think I
would in a 26-man
With
squad.
26.
Yeah.
He's a great player, don't get me wrong. Brilliant player.
I think he's going to be great when we're 1-0 up with 20 minutes to go.
For getting fouls and
keep holding the ball, getting free kicks, keeping the ball in the opposition's arm.
Most
He's
fouled
great at that.
fouled player in the Premier League.
he's cheap.
I used to hate him. Loads of people used to hate him, didn't they? And now it's a bit more.
Yeah, well, I think obviously up until he got injured, I would say outside of Kane, that's it. He's been the best English player in the Premier League this season. 10 goals, 6 assists.
Yeah, made some.
No, but Mount's a brilliant player. I'm not slagging off Mount at all. But look at where Villa were. They survived with one point last season and then up until he got injured, they were in the European position.
Yeah,
It's like-
Grealish is carrying the team into
on his shoulders.
Mount's playing with good players.
Exactly,
all the time,
yeah. Grealish is unbelievable player. So Grealish is in. John, second non-negotiable.
See, you got to say probably John Stones
Yeah,
with Maguire at the back, because that'd be my first choice too.
Another contender
Yeah.
for best English player this season, surely. in
Yeah.
the Premier League.
When he got his chance to come back in again, he's been brilliant, hasn't he?
yeah. Good attitude, isn't it? Because where he was, say last year, and when we were just saying about the players who've done well to the fact that it's been kicked on a year, he's benefited from that massively, hasn't he?
I think he's benefited most from the year not being played last year. He wouldn't be in the squad.
No way.
But having said that, I think a lot of people looked at him this year as being the Messiah. But that little mistake he did against Poland just makes you realise.
It really scared me, did it you?
Makes you realise why he hasn't been in the squad.
It makes me panic that is Diaz the solid one at City that's
there
like
is a large
covering.
part of that.
I think it's done him good to do that. I think now he'll just kick it out of play.
Well,
if he
Stones
needs to.
did that, didn't he? But before he did it early, didn't he? Before he did that the second time, he did the first time.
And got away with it.
Yeah,
He does it a few times. And we'll get on to this person as we get into other players, but I personally think if you're going to play Forlan Stones, you have to play Walker. Because you need somebody with a recovery run in him. Because there is a chance with Stones, and it's almost like it's worth taking the gamble of playing a 4 because we've got some good players going forward. But you need other players who are going to dig him out of the crap, because he is going to mess it up, isn't he, at some point. And like you just said, Tom, it's a good point about Diaz. I think Stones has had a great season, and he has obviously taken Laporte out of the first team, so he's doing well. But Diaz is an unbelievable player, and one of the best signings, I think, of the season. So, but Stones is in. Dad, second non-negotiable.
Jordan Pickford for me.
Yeah, Pico.
I think
Little arms.
all the errors he ever makes is in an Everton shirt. Really, he's not done anything too bad for England. He was great in the World Cup, and there is an argument that Pope could have took his place.
he can't kick.
But he can't kick a ball.
Good enough
He played them 2 qualifiers, and he proved that Pope was a better player when he wasn't playing, if you know what I mean. Now, when he had the chance, he didn't do enough. Going forward, Henderson, if he's Man United's number 1, I think he'll play for England. England's number 1.
Yeah.
But at the moment, I think Pickford.
See, Pickford saved penalty in the World Cup. He also done that.
Yeah, the psychological advantage of that is
Yeah.
huge, isn't it? To have won a penalty shootout.
I think he's got a good character, hasn't he, as well? He's a bit rough, isn't he, and a bit of a shithouse.
And he's
stuff.
short.
Quite
He's quite short for
Yeah,
keeper,
he's-
isn't he?
It's
still
quite a
massive.
weak
He's
area.
not
It's
that
quite a weak
small.
area for England,
Isn't it?
though, isn't it? Massively.
I think he's still
Goalkeeper, yeah.
Goalkeeping.
I think to be fair, the goalkeepers is the easiest decision in the whole squad.
But because it's best of a bad bunch.
Yeah, there's only 3.
The 3 obvious ones.
Sam Johnston got in the last squad because Pickford was injured.
Yeah.
Well, you're not going to take him to the
No.
tournament, are you?
I think I say with Pope, he's a good shot stopper, and that's largely because he faces more shots because he plays for Burnley.
Yeah.
There's a massive difference between that and having to play with your feet and stuff at
I think-
international level.
Pope went from very strong case of starting him in the Euros. After them 2 qualifiers, I think he's third choice for me.
Yeah, he didn't do very well, did he, actually?
No.
Okay, I'll go then. I think I'm going to make a case for Jadon Sancho as my 8th. That's the 8th one, 8th non-negotiable.
Oh, right.
Now, I feel like Sancho, what he's benefited from by being outside of this country is a lot of game time and playing at a high level. But what he's probably lost is the fact that people don't see him play every week. And I think it's very easy for people to think, oh, he's not that good. He's brilliant. Really, really, really good.
He's playing now for his club. Was he injured for England or was not picked or a bit of both?
He was injured up until about 3 weeks ago.
Oh, okay.
Hasn't played that much for Dortmund this season.
See, I don't know anything about it really.
Yeah, so I mean, also the whole is he going to Man U, is he not going to Man U thing at the start of the season really threw him, I think. Because remember, he's like a 19-year-old kid who went over to Germany at like 18, which is massive, like, you know, lifestyle change and stuff. He scored, he got over 20 goals and over 20 assists last season in the Bundesliga, which is just unmatched by any like English player. And then there's this whole thing about, oh, he's going to get sold for 100 million quid, come back to England and come back to his family and everything, and it just didn't happen for him. And then he got injured, and he's had a bit of a, you know, difficult start to the season. But in one-off games and, you know, in a tournament setting, he's more than good enough to definitely be in the squad for sure. And I think Southgate knows that, which is why he's picked him a lot and stuff.
Well, but we talked about Stones as being the most beneficiary of.
Yeah.
I think Sancho is like the one that's lost out the most. To me, he would have started probably in the team if the tournament had been last summer. Now, yeah, I've got him in, but only because it's 26-man squad. If it was 23-man, I couldn't have found a place for him.
Yeah, but like, you know,
I've only put him in because of what he's done for the qualifiers. Yeah,
and you know, he has scored a couple of goals for us, hasn't he? And
I've never played for England, and I've never thought, God, he's rubbish. But I've never, you know, you see Mount and Foden, and Grealish even when he had his chance, they play in like they create that bit of excitement. With
I agree.
Sancho, it's a bit, I don't know.
I almost wish he'd have signed for Man U, and then we'd have seen a full season of him playing like every, you know, week in, week out, which would have been nice. But yeah, so I'll go for Sancho then.
So I'm sure Southgate's watching Dortmund games and he's watching Trippier at Atletico Madrid and this and the other. You know what I mean? I'm sure he's.
Okay, so let's fill in the rest of the squad then. So goalkeepers, we need 3. We've got just Pickford in there at the moment.
Henderson,
we could easily just fill those in, can't we?
Henderson and Pope, fine.
I mean, we've got Johnson. Mentioned Johnson. Is there anyone else?
Ben Foster, cycling GK.
When the Premier League started,
Fraser Forster.
When the Premier League started in '92, it was a really strong area at goalkeepers. You know what I mean? But I think there's more and more foreign goalkeepers have come through who just ain't got it.
No.
Cool now.
Yeah.
Pickford is number 1. And same as I say, I think Henderson might be by the World Cup, which is next winter.
Yeah.
If he plays for Man United every week, I think he'll be number 1 because they play a bit more bigger games, don't they, than Everton will.
Yeah.
He's got more chance of showing how good he is. But there ain't no one else really you can put in there.
Henderson's character, he's quite arrogant. Have you ever seen him speak and stuff? He really rates himself. He thinks he's like...
It's not a bad thing though, is it, if you're a goalkeeper?
No, that's what I'm thinking.
See, Sam Johnson, I don't know who he plays for.
I think he plays for West Brom. But it's like, but they're crap, aren't they? It's like Ramsdale.
He's that bloke with the number 1 on that keeps going in the back of the net and getting the ball out. That's him.
Yeah. It's like Ramsdale at Sheffield United. People rate him. You know, he's only a young goalkeeper, but he's been relegated the last 2 seasons. Do you know what I mean? Like, no.
See, sometimes if you're playing in like Pope, he's playing in a team where he has a lot of shots to save, so he makes the goalie look good. When actually, hopefully, in the Euros, you've not got nothing to do for 20 minutes.
Yeah.
That's what Pickford did well in the World Cup. Literally did nothing for 20 minutes, but then come out with a worldie.
Yeah. He's a good shot stopper, isn't he, Pickford?
But Pickford's number 1 because he can kick a ball, which is weird for a goalkeeper. Is Pickford any better than Pope at saving shots?
No.
Maybe not.
No.
But I'm more happy if somebody passes the ball back to Pickford with a striker running against him than...
Yeah, we need somebody to be able to find Kane from 80 yards, don't we? Stick it on his chest. And I think he's got it in him.
So, moving on to defenders then. So, we agreed beforehand that we're going to have 9 defenders, and we've currently got Maguire and Stones in there. Let's start naturally at right back, shall we? And I'm going to go straight in there with Kyle Walker. I think he's bloody brilliant. He starts every day for me.
Yeah, if you play 4 at the back or 3 at the back.
He's there either, isn't he?
Yeah. If we play 3 at the back, does he come in as the right side of centre back?
Yes.
Yeah.
I'd say so. Yeah.
Him, Stones, and Maguire is solid, I'd say.
That's what we played was that what we played at the World Cup, or was Dyer? We'll get on to Dyer. But was Dyer playing the World Cup? Was it?
Dyer said the Stones, I imagine, wasn't it? No, Stones was there.
Stones, Maguire, and Walker when it was the first choice, and then I think Dyer might have played as a CDM potentially.
Yeah. Ashley Young was left back.
Yeah, and then
to me, right back is the hardest decision. there's 5 players, isn't there, for 2 positions. You got Walker, Reece James, Alexander-Arnold, Trippier, and Wan-Bissaka.
Yeah.
Well, for me, you pick Walker for a centre half and right back.
Yeah.
That's stealing a position, really, aren't you? Really.
Yeah,
Play
exactly.
both. And I'd go Trippier for experience. He's playing in Spain, played a good side, and without being biased, I'd pick James.
Yeah, you pick James as well.
Yeah.
That's interesting because I would definitely pick James 100%. Because I think, like you say, if you're going to play 3-4-3, he's perfect because he plays it every week.
Yeah. And he's strong if he comes on for the last half hour and you get stuck in. He's not.
Yeah, definitely. But that's interesting what you're saying about Walker. That you could potentially take 3 right backs. Then was what you're saying.
Yeah, because Walker can steal a position and be in centre half as well.
Yeah.
He
Well,
can,
and then
he
he
can even play in a 2 really if he needed to be.
Yeah, that's a good point.
I think Walker's definite.
Yeah, let's
I
put
think
Walker
we'll-
in then.
Let's just put Walker in as a definite for now. So he's our third defender.
Yeah. So then,
For me, at the other 4, you've got Wan-Bissaka. There was a lot of talk about, from his agent or from him, I don't know, about playing for Congo. Because he's never actually played for England. He's played at junior levels.
yeah.
And to me, you don't want to be picking him if you're not sure if he's.
I don't really rate him.
No, I think
I'm going to put it out there. I don't really rate him
defensively,
at all.
I think he's all right. But going forward, he's not as good
He's
as
better
the
than
other
all right defensively. He might be one of the best one-on-one defenders in Europe.
I think that was a Southgate. Your best pick me, and Southgate was not Arsenal.
Yeah.
So that's proved
three.
to me.
You're not making me pick you.
To be fair, we could pick a whole 11 of right backs. England are like, if you look further down the table, you got like Lamptey and even like Aylin at Leeds or whatever. We've got loads of right backs that would play.
Just a quick word on Trent. So
Tommy's going to fight Trent.
no, I'm not fighting the Trent clause. Are you purely basing that on this season that you can't be anywhere near
Trent's
the squad?
in my 26 because it's 26 again, and he can play right back and play midfield as well if need be.
Yeah.
Well,
He made my squad.
with Trent, he's had a dip in form from last 2 seasons.
Last year was fantastic, wasn't it?
Don't get me wrong, a dip in form to Trent. He was so high.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
He was best. It was probably he was the best right back in the world, wasn't he, last season?
A couple of months ago, everybody was saying Trent's playing a bit better. But the highlights he show of him is crossing or goals. It's never great bit of covering, great tackling. And at the end of the day, you need your right back to be good defensively, don't you?
Yeah.
So it's between him and James for me. Trippier, that 10-week ban he had, might have not done him. He was a bit naughty. Betting on himself, this, that and the other. If you want to argue about it, Southgate might not like it. And the fact that we don't see him week in, week out, although he can
They've
play
been
right.
really good this season. Atletico Madrid.
Yeah.
But he can play right and left back.
Yeah.
But I'd say, if I was picking the squad, I'd pick Trent Alexander-Arnold, because if we play 5 at the back, I think he's better.
But you think he's a better wing back than Reece James?
Yeah.
I think you're wrong there.
But
Wing back is not. No.
I think Southgate will pick James because he played him in the qualifiers. He's done nothing wrong, and he plays 5 at the back for Chelsea, which is.
I go James, Trent, and then Walker as like a centre back.
I'd think that I don't think Trent's a good wing back at all. He's played 2 games for England wing back and he's done poorly both times.
Yeah, but it's quality on the ball.
Yeah, but if you're going to just take him quality on the ball, then turn him into a midfielder and do that.
Yeah.
The reason why he's so bad defensively this season, or the reason why people aren't raving about him this season, is because last season when he was bombing forward and stuff, he had Van Dijk and Gomez as centre back, and Van Dijk's like playing 2 at the back. It's a bit like playing Kante, playing 2 in midfield. This season, when they've had Kabak and Phillips and all these people playing at the back, he gets like exposed a lot.
Yeah, he's never played well for England, has
No,
he?
and if you watch the quarterfinals of the Champions League against Real Madrid, I think Real Madrid scored 3 goals and they won 3-1. Every single goal, they're just looking for him every time. They're just trying to expose him. All the time. That's what I mean. I don't ever want to see him playing a back 4 for England. Definitely not.
No.
But if you're playing Stones and Maguire, you can't play Trent because they're just going to aim at that Stones Trent alley, and we're just going to get
But
destroyed.
if you play Stones, Maguire, Carl Walker as right centre back, then Trent Alexander-Arnold's got to be.
Yeah, but then it's Trent or James, and I would personally say James is a better wing back than Trent.
I think he'll pick James because he picks him for England. He's a nice enough lad. Needs his hair cutting.
He hasn't got enough. He hasn't got enough bite for me. He annoys me. Like he's so
James.
soft. Yeah, I want him to be nasty. He looks too
He's a young lad.
friendly.
He's a young lad. That's why
He's massive, actually.
Yeah.
You know, physically,
He's strong.
Yeah, he's really strong. I wonder whether maybe he might be like a centre back at some point. You know, when Chelsea play 3 at the back,
Yeah.
you could see him sort of playing the right side of that and bursting forward, a bit like Chris Basham does for Sheffield United, where he sort of bursts
See,
in.
Azpilicueta's like on his way down, but it'll be natural
Ledge.
replacement for him.
Yeah.
So let's pick 2 right backs then.
I like you thinking about having Walker as centre back.
Yeah, I don't think we should put Walker as one of our right backs.
I do.
Do you?
Yes, because
Should we leave this and go back to the centre backs and we'll come back to it? So let's put Walker in. We'll put
Walker's
Walker
in.
in,
Yeah.
and
Come
then
back to
let's
the right
do the
back.
centre backs then.
left back first. Because that's easy.
Okay.
Chilwell and Shaw.
Yeah. There's no other, is he? Saka played a few of the qualifiers, but he's not a left back, is he?
No, he's
No.
not left back, and he actually, he's had a mare that he's not nowhere near good enough to compete with the other attacking midfielders,
He's very-
yet, is he?
He looks a good player, but I won't put a mortgage on what position he's good at.
No.
playing.
No, there's so many like good young players. Even at Arsenal, Smith Rowe or others. And you look further down the league, you look at like Harrison at Leeds or Eze at Crystal Palace and stuff. These are all like great young players who in other countries would be like, oh, everybody raving about them. But then you've got Foden who's like 4 years younger than them, and he's just like, do you know what I mean? It's unreal.
So
So Shaw's benefited from it being a year later.
Oh,
'cause
100%.
I don't think he was
Yeah.
anywhere near the
No.
squad, was he?
So we've got 5 defenders now. Shaw and Chile at the left back. Maguire, Stones at centre back, and then Walker in between the two. So we need basically 4 more people.
Well,
Yeah,
I'm going to put Cody out there
Cody. Yeah.
for a reserve centre half.
Yeah.
Played for England how many times now? Not put wrong as a really play really
Scored
well.
as well, didn't he, for
Yeah.
England, which is rare. He didn't really score much for
And he's
for
got
Wolves.
mouth, hasn't he, as well? 'cause it-
You heard him because there was no fans when he made his debut. You could hear him.
Talks all the time, didn't he?
Are we all agreeing on James as well? I think we would all probably agree that Reece
Put
James
James
is
in.
I'll
going.
put James in. Yeah.
Yeah. So we need 2 more.
The one I'm going to say, and probably you'll all disagree.
Don't say Dyer.
Eric Dyer.
Oh, I never want to see Dyer in English shirt ever again in my
Because-
life.
Because he can
Die
play
by name.
he can play defence or midfield, but mainly.
But not well.
But mainly,
Do you know what I mean? I can play defence or midfield.
mainly, it's. I think it's his character around the squad. He's probably almost certainly not going to play a single minute, and you don't want no sulkers. For them, they're going to be together for 4 weeks. You want no sulkers. You want players that are going to give it all in training and that. And that he's the kind of player.
Well, I think if 3 of us disagree and
Well,
Dad
yeah,
just
that's fair
agrees, then
enough.
we'd have to keep him out.
Yeah,
He's
and
not getting
I-
anywhere near my
He has said at the start of the season, because there was a conversation with him, Mourinho and stuff, where he said he never wants to play midfield ever again. I want to be a centre back. Fine, but never for England, please.
I'm 90% certain Southgate will pick
For
him.
that reason, you're in.
Yeah. I'm out.
No, what you just said there. I'm prepared to you not put him in, but I'll be gobsmacked if Southgate.
Yeah,
put
he
him
definitely
on.
will pick
Probably
him.
will pick him. wouldn't
Yeah, he'll put him up
Because
front.
his character.
Yeah.
He's a character. He's a winner.
The fact he
It's
won.
Kermit the Frog.
To be fair, he scored that winning penalty, didn't he? Against he won the winning penalty in the shootout. He's got that experience. I think Southgate will just think he's good to have around the
His
squad.
character, isn't it?
Okay, so let's centre backs then. So assuming that it looks like we're going to be playing 4 possibly against the easier teams, and I think he'll probably play 3 against the harder teams because he'll shit himself. So we've got Maguire, Stones, Walker, and Cody, and then probably one more. Do you
Tyrone
think?
Mings, isn't
Mings.
Tyrone Mings.
Yeah,
What, for centre half?
left-footed, isn't he? Possibly as an option.
Yeah.
26-man squad. That's the only reason.
What do you think, John? You didn't like you agreed with that as a centre back. You're only taking 4 centre backs, including Walker.
Yeah.
That's not enough, is it?
I don't. I think they'll play 3 at the back anyway, or most of the time, and have a minute. With Cody, it's just a cover.
So you've got 2 right backs and Walker.
But if you think they're going to play 3 at the back every game, that means you've only got 1 sub, unless you can put Rice there. But then that would take Rice out of the midfield, doesn't it?
It's because
Yeah.
John's got Trent, James, and Trippier, haven't you? So you've got 3
You've
right
been greedy
backs.
on your right backs, John.
overdosed on right back.
We've got 9, haven't we? It's hard to.
Yeah, that's true.
Well, Mings goes in for me. Does he go in for you?
Yeah.
But
Dad?
it's in my injuries list. If anyone got injured,
Oh, okay.
he's on there.
Dad, is Mings in your squad?
Yes.
Right, he's in then. So we've
He's
got
left-footed, and he's done all right in the quality. He went. You remember when we went to that place where they booed him and racism and all that. I can't remember where it was. Somewhere in Baltic states.
Yeah, yeah.
Bulgaria, something like that.
And he showed
Montenegro,
real. He showed real character. I thought that night, and he
Yeah.
played really well.
I like him.
So from the left, then we got Chilwell and Shaw. We've got Maguire, Stones, Cody, and Mings. Then we've got Walker, James, and we need one more. It's got to be a right back at this point.
Eric Dyer.
So,
I'm gonna
It's
go
got to be Trent then, hasn't it?
Trent personally.
Like Trent or Trippier into there.
Trent or Trippier, yeah.
Did Trippier got picked? I'm sure in the last squad,
no, he
Yeah,
didn't
we-
go in the last squad.
didn't he?
Oh,
He's injured.
He was injured, yeah. No, actually, I think he was banned. You know, that ban was international, wasn't it?
But Trent wasn't injured and he didn't put him in.
No.
I don't know if Trent, like taking Trent sets a good example. I don't know if Southgate will do it. I don't think he'll take him. Like, as in, his form's been that bad.
See, with Trippier, he got right and left footed. He can play both. He played right back and left back.
Scored in the semi-final.
Yeah. Oh yeah, he's done it.
Then again, it's not like Liverpool are in the relegation zone, is it?
No.
Like, you might still think he's a top class player.
He's a great player. It's not a bad season. But
Why don't we just go Trent or Trippier then? Go down the line.
Okay.
I'm gonna go Trent.
Trent,
Yeah.
Well, I said Trippier at the start. I think Trippier will probably start at right wing back. So
Okay.
think Trippier
Trent,
will start.
Trippier,
yeah, I do. Yeah,
Thad.
he likes him, doesn't he?
Does like him.
Well, I said earlier, if I was picking the squad, I'd have Trent Alexander-Arnold.
Okay, Rob.
Okay. This is awkward because I would probably say Trippier.
That's what you got the signing vote like.
Lazy.
Get a coin then.
Let's.
He might put him in. He might find a space for him later.
Who get the best score on Scrabble?
Let's.
All right then. Who do we think Southgate will pick?
Yeah, that's a good way to put
I
it.
think you put Trippier in, don't you?
Trippier.
Okay, Trippier goes in.
Trippier.
Trent's out. Right, so midfield, we're going 9 again. We've currently got, from our non-negotiables, Mount, Foden and Grealish.
And Sancho, if we're having him as a
Yeah,
midfielder.
Sancho.
Okay, he's kind of fluid between the two,
Yeah.
isn't he? I'll chip straight in with Rice.
Yeah.
Chips and rice.
Chips and Rice, yeah.
Yeah. You know what I've got to say about Rice? Last year, well, probably about 18 months ago, I didn't get it with Rice at all.
You always had chips and crackers, didn't you? Every time?
Yeah, but I always said that that's the one position that we lacked for England, and I always wanted Pep to turn Stones into a CDM. That was the dream, but it just never happened.
No.
And Rice started getting for games, and I was thinking, oh, it's crap. But this season, as a captain, they play 3-4-3 as well, don't they, at West Ham? And obviously Noble's on his way out. I think he stepped up massively at West Ham, and he's been brilliant for England as well. So
This time last year, he looked like a centre-half playing central midfield. Now, positionally, he's so much improved. I mean, he looks like a midfielder now.
yeah,
That's the
definitely.
difference. So he's benefited from that extra year as well, definitely.
I think so as well. I think he's definitely in, isn't he? And he definitely starts really because he's almost our only option at CDM.
And he's
isn't he?
Mount's best mate.
Yeah,
Well,
exactly.
while this comes to my pick, fit or not, Henderson.
Anderson.
Even though I'm not keen on him, I thought it was crap until the last two years. I did, honestly.
Yeah.
He's been superb for Liverpool.
He's a winner,
And for
isn't he?
England.
He's
Player
just
of
a
the
winner.
season, player of the
Like.
season last year as well in
Yeah.
the Premier League.
But what Klopp's saying, he's not going to be fit.
Let's assume he is going to be fit. Let's
Yeah.
stick him in.
I put him in. Henderson definitely in the squad. Definitely starts.
Yeah.
If he's not, for me, if Henderson don't get picked, it's Bellingham. Bellingham plays. Bellingham gets in the squad if Henderson's not fit.
But do Henderson and Rice not play in the same? Would they not be competing for the same
He's
position?
we are awful at the back.
Yeah.
Let's face it. He's got to play two defensive midfield players.
Or I would say you would play Rice as the one, but then one of your two, so Mount plus another, and it tends to be Phillips at the minute. But I think that would be Henderson's role.
Yeah.
Can I just put my 2 pence in and support for James Ward-Prowse? I'm a massive fan of
Well, he's,
Ward-Prowse.
he's on my injury list again.
Yeah, I'm a huge fan of him, and I think he gives something to the squad that nobody else does. He is top 5 set piece taker in the whole of
Yeah, but
Europe.
can you afford just to
If he
carry
played-
a set piece take?
No, he's better than that. though.
If he played for a top 7 side, 8 side, he'd be in.
and does what he does week in.
At the end of the
week
day,
out.
Southgate had him as a youngster for England, so he's come through the ranks, and he'll do. If he says go and mark him for 90 minutes, he'll
He'll
go and
do
do
a job.
it. If he says go and run up and down there for 90, he'll do it. Don't get it wrong. He's never going to start any of the games, but for 20 minutes to go, 1-0 up or 1-0 down, depending, whatever, he'll do exactly what he wants him to do.
He's played the last 100 games or something for Southampton. He's always fit. He's brilliant from a dead ball. Great attitude.
I'm
and
willing to be
he's got,
outvoted on that one.
he's got that little bit of.
It's reliability, isn't it?
Remember against I think it was Iceland where they got a penalty in the 93rd minute or something and they missed. If you remember, just before he took it, James Ward-Prowse was kicking up the penalty spot. He's got a bit of shithousery in him, which I quite like.
Here's another thing. Here's another one that's he likes himself. He's very confident.
Chocolate,
you know what I mean?
Chocolate. That's what
But
Jimmy Bullard says.
I won't put him in my 26 though.
He's not in your squad.
No.
No,
Is everybody else? You're not having him in your squad?
I'm not either. No,
You're not having him?
No,
I've got him in definitely.
I might do later. We'll put him on the back burner with Trent.
Okay, right. So
Not letting go of Trent.
in
All
terms
right.
of,
What about Trent then?
in terms of midfielders, we've got
I'm putting
Mount,
Calvin Phillips in.
Okay, so we're there. So we've got Mount, Foden, Grealish, Sancho, Rice, Henderson. So we've got
6.
Sorry.
There's 6 there.
Yeah, so we've got 3 more slots.
Calvin Phillips.
See, he was not in my squad.
I don't rate Phillips at all,
Well,
No.
but I think he'll take it.
Well, it was in my squad definitely, and Henderson was.
To be fair,
Yeah.
And Rice.
if Henderson's not fit,
He must go.
Phillips starts.
Which is sad, isn't it?
Really sad.
That ruins
Yeah.
me.
I
I'd
think
rather
he's-
start.
I
I
think
think
he's
Bellingham's
crap.
better than him now.
Yeah, I do.
Well, I said
And that's my opinion.
I said months ago he should have played Rice and Mount together as a 2 in the qualifiers. Get them used to playing together.
Yeah. If you're going to play 3-4-3, I would do that. I would play Rice and
Well,
Mount
it's too
as a
late
2.
now. It's too late now.
Why? If he plays 3 at the back, he might do that. John, you know when Chelsea played at the weekend, I think Mount played as one of the 2, didn't he, this time?
Just
The weekend just gone. Yeah.
2-0.
Was he all right there? Or
Yeah.
Well, obviously he got the assist,
Well,
didn't he?
Yes, but it was going forward a lot more as well. But he's better off when he played Brighton. A lot of injuries, and he played more defensively, and he's not as.
Not as good.
No, not
So
at
is
all.
Phillips getting in your squad, Rob?
I wouldn't pick him, but I
He's
feel
not
like I'm
in
being
mine.
outvoted.
Is he in your 2s?
Who's that?
Phillips.
He's in my squad, yeah.
Got to be.
Okay, we'll put him in.
Put him in.
So we need 2 more. Lingard, would you put him as a forward or a midfielder?
Midfielder will have him in.
I'd have him in midfield. I think his character's brilliant.
I'd put Madison in first, though.
Madison over Lingard.
Yeah.
Big statement.
Madison will never play for Southgate. Tell that now.
Mm,
Attitude problem.
What do you think about Lingard, Tom?
I think he's good.
Back to Leicester or discuss.
He's just an idiot, isn't he?
Yeah, but
He would be terrible around the squad.
He played really well, wasn't he? He played well this
It's not as
season.
good as Lingard. Lingard's like
But that's not.
he could
John's
have.
head's gone with Lingard.
Yeah.
He's took his opportunity.
Lingard could have sat it in Manchester, getting how much is he on 80,000 a week or whatever, just scratching his backside, sitting on the sofa. But instead, he's gone all the way down to London, getting stuck in.
Yeah,
he's
he's
playing
had,
fantastic.
yeah, he has had like issues, mental health and things like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
And he is playing for a new contract.
Yeah.
he played
So that
brilliant.
Yeah.
weighs
Played
in as well.
brilliantly in the World Cup.
If it was
and
best
his
dancer, he'd be in.
character around the squad.
Yeah, the banter in that is good.
Fantastic.
With the midfielders, then we've got 9. I think we should do 5 of them as midfielders that would play either 2 if we played 3 at the back, or the 3 if we played 3, basically. So
Well-
not attacking players. So I'm including Mount in that.
You got Henderson, Rice, and
Phillips
Phillips
and
as your-
Mount as 4. So we need one more of them, I think.
What,
Is
like an out-and-out mid?
I would say that's Ward-Prowse or Bellingham.
Ward-Prowse.
Bellingham.
Bellingham for me. He's playing at the highest level at the age of what, 17?
Plays at a higher level than Phillips.
Yeah. How on earth could you not take him?
He's played 45 minutes for England. He was fantastic. Played San Marino, I think it was.
Yeah.
Um,
Do you think he's better than
he
Phillips?
got sent off last week for his club. So he's
2 yellows.
suspended at the
2
moment.
yellows
Yeah,
there.
but that's what happens when you're hot-headed. He's going to... I think if we do this for the World Cup next winter, I think he might be in the team.
Yeah.
He's that good.
To me,
He was awesome for Birmingham.
to me, he's a poor man's Loftus-Cheek.
Yeah.
See, Loftus-Cheek's probably been another one to like lose that, hasn't he? Because he was in the squad for 2018, came on a couple of times as well.
But Ward-Prowse is captain of Southampton. He plays week in, week out. And Phillips, he's never let him down. Don't get me wrong. He's never going to win. He's never going to win man of the match. He's never going to get 10 out of 10. During the game. But Southgate's giving him a job, and he does it to the dot. And he plays like he plays for Leeds. That's how he plays for England. That's all. That's how you get.
I'd
paid.
hope he'd never play though. For me, Phillips. Hopefully, he never plays for England.
Well, me, you, and John have got Bellingham in the squad, haven't we? So
But I've got Ward-Prowse. I'm probably a founder member of the Ward-Prowse.
yeah. Well,
fan club.
Bellingham's in because it's
Defensive
3 against.
midfielder then.
Who?
Ward-Prowse.
I think he's going to play. Well, Rice is a 6 and 2 8s. One of them's Mount. The other one is Phillips at the moment, or Henderson ideally, and then other options are Bellingham and Ward-Prowse. He can play that role perfectly. So he doesn't really play a 10, does he?
See, starting 11 is going to be a nightmare because
Yeah, I know.
yeah.
'Cause I want Ward-Prowse in there.
Ward-Prowse is like Ward-Prowse is the kind of player with 20 minutes to go. You 1-0 up, Mount is absolutely run his
nuts off.
nuts off, and he's knackered. So that's when you bring him on, and you
Yeah.
say just do exactly what he's just done, and he will do that.
Okay, so are we saying Phillips is in?
Yeah, it's got to be, hasn't he?
So Ward-Prowse or Bellingham? Let's go.
Ward-Prowse definitely.
Well, Bellingham's in mine before.
Well, don't get me wrong. I think Bellingham's an absolutely fantastic player.
Bellingham's in mine and John's.
It looks like Phillips has taken Ward-Prowse's slot then, and we'll put Bellingham in. Okay.
Yeah.
I think Bellingham will be a bit of a Walcott and probably won't. If Anderson's fit, he probably won't get at all.
Yeah, but take him because it's a 26-man squad and let him see around the.
So we've got.
It's a big thing.
We've got Mount, Grealish, Foden, Rice, Henderson,
Phillips.
Bellingham, Phillips. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5,
That's
6,
8.
7, 8.
So now we
And
can
go
have
on to strikers.
one more like attacking player. So we've got Foden, Grealish, and Sancho. So I would say the options there would be
Grealish.
Lingard, Maddison. We've already got Grealish, haven't we?
Oh, okay. All right.
Lingard, Maddison.
Madison's in mine. I know he's a bit of a sack, but I don't rank Lingard. He's had a good few weeks.
Then at the end of the day, he's not going to pick anybody who's never had a cap.
No, I'd go Lingard.
So it's got to be Lingard.
Lingard? Right,
Yeah.
sorry, John, we're putting Lingard in. Right, okay. So then forwards, we need 5. We've already got one in there, obviously. The King Harry is already in.
Well, Sterling and Rashford.
Yeah, I think we can all agree that
That's a Shea given, isn't it?
Yeah. So you've got Kane, Rashford, and
King Marcus
Sterling.
Rashford feeding the kids and scoring goals.
Two more to go. So you've got. We put Sancho's in with the midfielders, didn't we? So you basically got 2 more.
Yeah.
Can I
I'm
make
gonna-
a point for Ollie Watkins?
Yes, he's in.
Got a flake of that.
Ollie Watkins.
Ollie Watkins, for me, he just pips Mason Greenwood. Simply because he scored on his debut, he did what he was told, and if he's only going to get 5 minutes. Then he's only in because it's 26-man squad.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because the other one's Dominic Calvert-Lewin, isn't it?
We all agree in DCL.
Dominic Calvert-Lewin's definitely going.
Right, okay. DCL.
He's benefited. If it had been last year, he might have not.
Yeah.
It would have been Abraham, wouldn't it?
But Watkins is
I'm saying Abraham. I am anyway.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
What, above
Naturally.
DCL?
Yeah. No.
above Watkins.
Watkins.
Right, okay. So let's just wrap it up then. So we've got Kane, Sterling, Rashford, and DCL. So then we're looking for the 26th
So we're looking
name
at
in.
Watkins
One
or
more
Abraham.
forward. So Watkins, Abraham, or Greenwood.
I'd put Greenwood before Watkins, if I'm honest.
Would you?
Well, yeah.
I just think with Watkins.
Natural finishes.
Yeah. He's a bit of a wild card, isn't he, Greenwood? Is it worth taking him?
I tell you what,
Yeah,
with
true.
Greenwood, if you're 1-0 down with 20 minutes to go, I'd rather bring him on because he's a natural goal scorer. If you're 1-0 up
Long ball in it.
with 10 minutes to go, Watkins is an
Running the
absolute
channel.
dream.
Running the channel,
You
yeah.
know what I mean?
I'm going to go Greenwood.
I certainly don't think Abraham should go. Sorry, John.
No.
I'm a fan of
Yeah, I
Abraham,
know.
but he's
He's
gone.
not
hasn't
played. He's not played.
Yeah.
I just think that if we're 1-0 down, he's not going to take Kane off anyway.
Yeah, well, if we're taking Abraham out of it,
I'll say Greenwood then.
Greenwood or who was the other one?
Watkins.
Watkins.
you
We're
think-
both saying Greenwood.
The thing is, he's disciplined Greenwood, hasn't he, by sending him back from Iceland. If he puts him back
Another
in now,
shagger.
if he puts him in now ahead of Watkins, I think he looks weak. So I'm going for Watkins.
Ain't Foden the same though? Didn't Foden do the
Yeah,
same
but
thing?
you got to let Foden off because he's a goat.
You got to let
Literally,
Exactly.
that is the case.
you've got to let
That is the
Foden.
case.
You've got to let Foden off because he's just
too good. Yeah, he's too good.
Maradona weren't very well behaved either.
Gaza.
Yeah.
Rob, you going Greenwood or?
I'm a big fan of Watkins, but I think you made a good point, Dad, where like Kane plays whether he's got one leg on and one
Plays
leg
all
off.
games,
Yeah, exactly.
plays.
So a DCL is if Kane gets injured in training,
Yeah.
basically.
Straight swap, innit?
So maybe we need a complete wild card option, and I think Greenwood, he's got that something about him where
yeah.
he'll just come on and score, and he's not
It's
off.
like Kane comes off and we're beating Scotland 4-0 at half time. He'll come off, won't he?
Yeah.
That's gonna haunt you, massive.
Okay, right. Let's go for Greenwood.
Just
Right.
see that clip with.
Yeah. Okay, so that's our squad then, guys. Our 26-man squad. Let us know in the comments what you think. What have we got right? What have we got wrong there?
Especially if you're Eric Dyer and you're
Yeah.
watching this now.
Any James Ward-Prowse Stan accounts I'll see you in the comments because I agree. Let's preview the group stage then for England. So at the moment we know that they've got 3 games at least to play in the tournament. First game Sunday the 13th of June at 2:00 at Wembley. So all our 3 games are at Wembley, and it's against Croatia.
6-0.
So they're ranked number 14 in the world, and obviously
They are?
yeah,
What are we?
4th.
They got to the World Cup final and
well, it's done on.
we beat San Marino.
It's on coefficient, isn't it? So certainly the hardest game of the group.
Do you think so?
Eh?
Yeah, Scotland might
On
be the hardest
well, it's
game.
the hardest
just
game
'cause
on
it's
paper.
nails.
Yeah, on paper. I think you've got to not lose your first game.
For confidence.
But looking at their squad, do you think they might just gone over the hill now?
Yeah, they're not as good as they were 3 years ago. And they also benefited. Remember, they came through the same side of the World Cup draw that we did, and everybody says that we had an easy route. So did they. They beat us to get to the final. Do you know what I mean? They had an easy route as well. So they're not, they're World Cup finalists recently, but they're not particularly great either.
No.
At Wembley as well, like I say, all our games are at Wembley, so that's certainly a benefit for us, isn't it?
I think we'll just want them to have the ball. We'll give them the ball and just knock it over the top for Rashford and Sterling.
Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah, I see a comfortable win.
Yeah. So
I
then
see a comfortable one each draw because this is England, isn't it?
Yeah,
First game
it's true.
I can see us absolutely ripping them apart first half. 1-0 up, we're all
And they'll
singing in the toilets in the pub.
Oh, for the sake of social clubs windows, we win.
yeah. So, but at least it's 2:00 on a Sunday, so plenty of drinking time after the game as well, which is good.
Yeah, win or lose.
Yeah, exactly.
Well,
and then the
Proverbial.
From the coffee.
second game then is on the following Friday, the 18th of June at 8:00 again at Wembley. This is the biggie, really.
Local derby.
Against Scotland, yeah, the local derby. Oldest international football match in the world. First played in 1872. So a lot of history there. And they're ranked number 44 in the world. They're not particularly great, are they? I mean, they've got a better squad now than they have in recent years. You look at McGinn, McTominay, Che Adams plays for them now, doesn't he? But
McMuffin.
on paper, we should hammer them, shouldn't we?
Yeah.
The worst thing is they'll play better than they ever have done, ever, because it's like the biggest game of their whole lives. And we're going on the pitch thinking, if we don't beat these, it's embarrassing.
Yeah.
So that's pressure in itself.
Scotland
isn't
know
it?
they're not going to win the tournament, but to beat others, win like.
When we played in the Euro '96, they had a penalty to equalise. It probably would have ended one each, maybe, if they'd scored. And it was a terrible game, wasn't it? It's going to be a terrible game. And we're going to all be sat there thinking, I'll hammer these, and we won't hammer them.
You could be cagey and a bit.
Yeah, I'll be nervous about that game more than the other two, I think. More than
We've
the
got
Croatia
Derby's
game.
goalkeeper in goal, so we've got a chance there.
You can't
Kane
even
against
get in.
Derby's goalkeeper.
He cannot. Scotland's goalkeeper
Second choice
cannot
goalkeeper.
get in Derby's team.
Exactly, and we're worried about playing them. And then the third game in the group, so hopefully we're sort of through or on the way to being through at this point, is against Czech Republic on Tuesday the 22nd of June at 8:00. They were in our qualifying group for this, if you remember. We beat them 5-0 in the first game of the qualifiers. Sterling scored a hat-trick. But then we actually lost away 2-1. So we played 8 games in the qualifiers. We won 7 and lost away to them.
That's what I mean about Croatia. I think these might be the
Czech Republic. So they've got obviously Sufal and Souček, who play for West Ham.
good players.
Had really good seasons this year. I think they might have some players that none of us have heard of, but they're all decent. I mean, very steady.
Anyone else really nervous already? I'm shitting myself talking about this.
Stop talking about the group. It's just like because it's a third game. You don't know what. Hopefully, we've got 6 points. And
it don't matter.
We
Hopefully.
play Eric Dyer.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Well, same again. Looking at the group, we could play Germany's group. The group are definitely.
Yeah, so we've had them there. If we win the group, we play the second place team in the group that has Germany, France, and Portugal in it.
Yeah, and Spain.
No,
No,
it's
Spain.
not the
No,
same group.
Spain.
Yeah,
Sorry,
but
Portugal.
those
Hungary,
three
yeah.
and whoever
Hungary,
else.
Hungary, yeah.
So basically, we've got to play whoever comes second in that group. And I think Portugal are a massive dark horse in this tournament. You look at their squad, particularly with the form of Cancelo and Diaz at the back, and obviously they've got Jota and João Felix and Ronaldo and Bruno and Bernardo
So it's best to
Silva.
come second then.
Don't know. That's my point.
See how easy it was in the World Cup. That's why I said Spain, because looking at it, if we win the group, we could play Germany quarters, Spain in the semis, and then potentially France
In
in
the
the final.
final. Yeah, so
You really are nervous now. aren't you?
Yeah,
Yeah,
you got to play
it's-
the big guns though, haven't you?
Yeah, well, yeah.
you just
We're
got
gonna
to try
win
and
it.
win every game, haven't you? Basically.
Yeah.
That's the worst thing about the Euros. You've got no China's and Japan's in there.
Yeah, but it's actually it's arguably harder to win than the
Oh,
World
yeah.
Cup, isn't it? Do you know what I mean?
It definitely is.
Yeah,
I'd
you
say.
can get through some easy games in the World Cup. So hopefully that game won't matter that much, because I agree with you, Dad. I think potentially they might be a bit of a banana skin. They're ranked 40th in the world, so slightly better than Scotland apparently.
So who will that be? Last 16, where we end up playing
Germany.
someone good.
Yeah, the first knockout stage we'll play whoever comes second in the France, Portugal,
I feel sick.
Germany group.
And it is the quarter final definitely away somewhere. It's in Italy or somewhere like that, isn't it?
I don't think so. No.
Yeah, I think there's certainly some. So I think our round of 16 game, or potentially the quarter final, was supposed to be in Dublin, but they've lost their right to host, and that's going to be at Wembley again. So I think a lot of our games, maybe one, possibly two of them, aren't going to be at Wembley, but everything else is, including the final, obviously.
Final and semis, basically.
Yeah. So what about crowd? Will there be a crowd there?
I think there is going to be a crowd, but it'll be 20,000 at Wembley, which is like what, a quarter.
Well, it's
10,000 so, shouldn't it?
Yeah,
They've got so much gel on their hands.
Yeah,
You can't do
sanitizer.
it.
Yeah, but I mean, any crowd would be amazing, wouldn't it? And I mean, like I said, there is certainly a benefit for us that a lot of our games are going to be at Wembley, I would say.
I mean, to the end of we've had 2 tournaments in England. We won one and lost on penalties in the semi-final of the other. So we've got the form going into it, as in home form's great, isn't it?
What you're saying is it's coming home.
It's just a few weeks of like unbearable anxiety, isn't it? Like, it's horrible. I'm literally dreading it.
To me,
I've only just realised doing this.
to me,
This is the biggest waste of money ever. There.
to me, the tournaments are go to work, rush home. You know what I mean? Try and finish work early if you can.
He says that like you don't do that every day.
Say to your wife when you get back.
Yeah. Say to your wife you're only having 2 pints.
Yeah.
And then wake up in the morning after you've had 12 pints, trying to like pretend you ain't had any drink.
Yeah.
And go
You
to
go
work.
work again with a massive headache.
Yeah.
That basically is the tournament for 4 weeks.
Okay, so let's pick our starting 11 then.
Okay,
While you're
for
off.
me, Pickford, Walker right back, Maguire, Stones, Chilwell at the back, Rice, Henderson, and then I'm playing Sterling, Mount, and Foden behind Kane.
Nice.
I'm aware that it means Rashford being on the bench, but someone's got to go.
Yeah. Nice.
Let me just say, mine is exactly the same, apart from I've got Rashford instead of Foden.
Yeah.
Okay. What, like Rashford behind Kane?
I'm playing 4-2-3-1.
Oh, so you've got Mount behind Kane.
Yeah, Mount behind Kane.
Okay.
But Rashford's. And my only problem is Sterling and Rashford both love the left hand side.
Yeah. That's why I think you've got to play one of them, not both.
So one of them, but just because it's Southgate, it's not me picking the team. It's Southgate. He's pragmatic. I think he's looking at the experienced players. Don't lose your first game.
Sterling's finishing does my head in, and now it takes him like 12 shots to score one. But like players literally poo themselves against him, don't they? Like he's so hard to play against, and he's so easy to foul.
Like he's playing bad the last 2-3 months been rubbish, but for England he's never let us down.
No, exactly.
No. John, you're 11.
Well, in goals, Henderson.
Okay.
Ooh, statement.
I think it's Pickford's
Jordan.
if fit. No, Dean Henderson in goals.
Yeah.
Above Pickford. He did a good World Cup, but he got in because nobody else is good enough.
I think it's time to move on now,
Yeah.
and Henderson's the answer to
If
the.
he's keeping out De Gea for Man U, they're good enough for me.
Yeah.
I must say, I think the two friendlies they've got before the tournament are massive. They're the most important friendlies we've had for a long time because we haven't had any friendlies, have we? And it's like some people could.
Was the friendlies before the Euros?
Yeah, there's two
We're
friendlies.
playing Austria and Romania, I think.
I think players could get themselves in the team there. Anyway,
Okay, go
I've
on.
got Walker, Stones, and Maguire, the back three.
Yeah.
Solid.
Nice.
Okay. Chilwell left back. I had Trippier right back, but I think I'm going to put James in now instead.
Oh, okay, nice. Yeah.
Just 'cause a bit more steel. I got Rice and Mount
In the two.
in the two.
Yeah.
Mount slightly in front of him.
Mhm.
Rashford, Sterling, Kane.
Nice. I agree. I would play the three as well. I think Stones had a good season, but I think people are underestimating how much of that is down to Diaz. And I personally think that we look a lot more solid with the three at the back. I would have Pickford, Walker, Stones, Maguire as a back three, and then I would have James, Rice, Mount, and Chilwell as a midfield four, and then I'd have Foden, Kane, and Rashford.
Not Sterling.
Sterling or Rashford for me, and I feel like Rashford's been in better form this season. Foden's outed Sterling out of the Man City team, and he's done out of the England team as well.
Yeah,
in my
see,
opinion.
Foden's not in mine, but now Sterling's struggling to.
Yeah, it's like what you were saying about in those warm-up games, a player might make their way into the team. My personal opinion is Foden will start one of those two games and get himself definitely in the starting 11.
Foden, Guardiola was resting Foden for the Champions League.
Yes,
He's overtaken
exactly.
Sterling out of the Man City
Yeah,
squad.
yeah.
He's
See,
in the first team.
The team I've picked, that is the only time I'll play four at the back in the group.
Yeah.
Because Croatia lost so much of the ball, we need Rice and Henderson. I think when they play Scotland, I think your 2-5 at the back thing. I think that they'll play that against Scotland and Croatia.
Well, now because like Modric is the best player, but he's not like he was now.
Yeah, but he can still run a game. They got Rakitic with him, and
I don't think we should fear any of the teams in our
either.
group.
We should fear anyone.
Which is bad. Which is a bad thing.
Because we're going to get hammered by someone.
I'm trying to convince myself not to be scared. Oh, we should fear anyone, do you?
Okay, so
Has Dad done his team?
yeah,
Same as yours, but
same as yours, but Rashford instead of Foden.
Okay.
So that's our starting 11s. Let us know in the comments what yours would be. Let's predict then who we think is going to win the tournament in terms of team, and a prediction for top goal scorer as well. Tom, do you want to start? Let's also throw in there like who we think is going to be a dark horse,
I think France are going to win it.
Okay.
I actually think England will, but I don't want to say it. I think France are going to win it.
Yeah.
Mbappe, top goal scorer.
Mhm.
And I think the dark horses will be Portugal, like you said.
Yeah. John?
my heart says England, but I think we play Germany quarters, beat them. Spain semis, beat them. I think we'll be spent lose to France in the final.
Oh, okay. So you're going for France as well.
Yeah.
That'd be heartbreaking, wouldn't it?
Top goal scorer.
Top goal scorer.
I'm gonna say Harry Kane.
The king.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's got to be, hasn't
Yeah.
it?
So he'll score them 4 first half goals against Scotland.
I think it's quite open tournament.
I think so as well.
I think there's about 5 or 6 teams that are strong, but the strengths like attacking wise. So I'm picking France because they've got the best defence.
Mm.
You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And we've got potentially we've got Rice and Phillips in the middle. They've got
Pogba,
Kante, Pogba, Matuidi.
Matuidi, Rabiot, all top players.
Top scorers. You got Kane, you got Mbappe, you got Gnabry, but I'm going for Lukaku because Belgium have got Russia, Denmark, and Finland in their group, so he could have 5 or 6 goals before they even get to the knockout.
That's a great shout.
Dark horse is England.
Nice. My dark horse is Italy.
Mm-hmm.
They've won a lot of games in the last 18 months. Pretty much all of their squad play in Italy, so a lot of people don't know many of their players and stuff, but they've got a really good young squad, and they're managed by Mancini. He won the league with City and stuff. And I think that they've also got a decent group, and they're in the group that if you win it, you get the best placed third team, so they've got a bye, if you like, in the round of 16. So I think they might end up being further in the tournament than you think.
Mm-hmm.
So they're my dark horses. I think England are going to win it, and I'm going to say it as well. I don't know.
think we all think they can,
Yeah.
or they might, but you just don't want to say it.
I mean, France. I think France is the easy bet because they're basically world champions, and they're all only 3 years older. And Mbappe was a 19-year-old future star then, and now he's arguably the best player in the world at the moment.
Mm-hmm.
So that's easy for me to guess that. But I think, and obviously I love Foden, but I think he might star.
Do you see our defence?
And I think that's a
Do you
good
see our
bet.
defence keeping enough clean sheets?
I think we'll play 3 at the back, and I think we'll be all right.
I say Walker got to cover him. All
Yeah,
time.
Walker's recovery runs are awesome, and watch Man City against PSG, last week, and he kept Mbappe quiet. He's probably the only player in the world that can catch up with him, basically. So I'm going to go the old classic: England and Kane, top goal scorer, and let's see them all get knighted as well after. Because Kane and Rashford have both got MBEs already. So imagine if they actually won something.
Sir Eric have died.
Oh no! I mean, that would be horrendous, wouldn't it? That would be horrible, wouldn't it? Yeah. Okay. Oh, thanks for joining us, guys. That was really good. Please subscribe to the channel if you've enjoyed the content. Go back and check out our other videos as well. Like the video, and we'll see you next week.
See you, Frankie.